Now now we are going to talk about our throat chakra. And if you know me at all, you know I don't like to use the word chakra. It's just it's so common right now that it's probably going to be the best way for me to talk about Vishudda. And Vishudda is the Indian Sanskrit script, I think, word that relates to the fifth chakra. Ugh, I hate that word. Okay, so anyway, this area here that is the area of our thyroids and our larynx. Now, Vishuddha has a lot to do with the basket of the ish that I've spoken to about before. And usually, when I talk about the basket of the ish, I'm talking a lot about our intuition, or what they call the sixth chakra, or even the seventh chakra, except that the crown is pretty much above our body and not even part of our physical form. So we're talking about the area of our throat. Now, it is an orbital chakra, meaning that it doesn't like emanate from the vortexes, don't emanate here within our specific glandular. Like most every vortex of light, the Shuddha, and again, labels and terms I just have a real problem with. But what happens is behind in the back of our neck here, is where our thought, a fifth chakra starts. And then what happens is it goes out a ways out, and then kind of comes back, and then right around here ends. So it makes a half circle, so a hemispherical arc, if you will. So it goes out from behind our neck, out over our left shoulder, and then ends right about in this area. And then it starts again over here somewhere on the other side of our throat. And it goes way out, about anywhere between several inches to 10 inches to a foot to maybe a couple of feet off our right shoulder. And then it returns back here on the back of the neck of our right side. Okay, so you have this circle, kind of. It's not really like a circle, but it is, you get the idea. And it's not usually perpendicular to the human body. it is actually at a tilt, about like this. So on the left side, it's up this way, kind of about like that. And on the right side of the body, it's kind of, well, it's also kind of tilted down. And it's called Vishudda. 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 There's an H in there somewhere, I think. Vishudda. Okay, or the fifth chakra, as in number 5. Okay, but again, you know me, you know I don't like using words like aura or chakra. But Vishudda I tend to identify with, because Vishudda has a lot to do with completion. Vishudda has a lot to do with how we deliver what is known as a thought. Our intentional thought. If we have a thought and we're just talking about something, maybe just to hear ourselves talk, then we don't have a lot of intention, except maybe some intention of ego. But if we have an intentional thought of like a purpose behind our thought, and we want to communicate this to another human being, or in some way to record that thought verbally, we are utilizing our fifth chakra, our Vishudda. So when our thought is born, it is back here, behind our neck, around the left shoulder, back here, right back behind the ear, and it goes out that way. And this is the area first that our mind is constructing this thought into that which will be communicated. Words. A lot of people they take some time in this. They are considering maybe the philosophical nature of their thought, or they're considering maybe collections of words, or words that they've used in the past, and they're trying to remember these words and the connotations and the definitions and things like that. And then they start thinking about collections of words called sentences, or maybe phrases before sentences. Or maybe some people actually think in terms of paragraphs, or volumes, or chapters. I mean, some people are really deep thinkers. I'm really not one of those people, believe it or not. I pretty much think in words. I like to use one word, or maybe 40 will do. Some people call those 50-cent words. Okay, anyway, eloquence is an art. It's a lost art. Okay, so anyway, Vishudda. Vishudda, after we get around to choosing our intentional thought, how we're going to deliver that in a communicative way, it makes this journey, and it comes back to over here on the left side of our throat. And this is the magic of Vishudda. And this is where a lot of people say, oh, this is where the fifth chakra is. It's right in our throat. To a degree, this is true. But what happens is there's a spark here that occurs. Now, the only analogy that I have ever come up with for you to understand what happens effectively to understand this is talking about an old movie starring Bela Lugosi called Frankenstein. And Dr. Frankenstein has this laboratory, and he's utilizing the power of lightning, and he's trying to modulate the energy. And there's these like two rods, and electricity is passing. Electricity, I'm using that word. There's this energy that goes up, and out these rods. Zzz, 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 yeah, zzz. That kind of zzz occurs when we use our larynx. It creates a vibration that completes the connection between our intentional thought that we choose words to make this communication, and then we are speaking it. And then this is the other part of Vishudda, our owning what we talk about, our owning of the thought. Now, yeah, we birth the thought over here, but we don't really own it yet. We haven't spoken it. We are intending to speak something. We have an intention to speak. We also have the intention of why we are speaking it. But for all practical purposes, we have spoken at this point. And now Vishudda continues over this way. Now, do we accept what we've said? Or do we regret what we've said? Have we spoken our intention effectively or ineffectively? Have we spoken thoughts of malice, of not of benevolence, but of discontent, of hatred, of malcontent, of harm? Do we have some regret in that? This regret that we might have actually weighs. Follow my hand. I mean, we are way down there. We are way down, down. It's not really great. This is where the fifth chakra is really out of balance. Or we are allowing ourselves to accept what we said is pretty cool. We like what we said. We are okay with the fact that we've effectively communicated our thought through speech, through the spoken word. Our intention, our purpose for communicating something to someone else has been successful, and it doesn't really dip down. It just kind of balances in that kind of a tilt. It doesn't go too far. It goes a foot or so. And then it loops around and comes back behind our right side of our back of our neck. And that's Vishudda. Plain and simple. Now, this is a very long video. But Vishudda is complicated to a degree, but also pretty simple to a degree. Yeah.